You can create all kinds of wonderful colourful designs using shapes in Affinity Photo. I'm going to go with diamond. So diamond is the start point, and I'm going to go for a blue diamond initially. However, I'm going to give it some colour. Don't want just a blue. I'm just going to go up here and swatches. I've got a few gradients here, so I'm just going to select one of my gradients, and you can see then, just going to go there, Phil, it's just made up of a number of stops. You can see other videos on how to add stops. What I want to do then is go to a layer, and I'm going to rasterize it because I want it as a pixel layer. So as a pixel layer, just going to do that. So you can see over there, pixel. That's the key thing because I'm going to use the linked layer feature. So just going to go down here to duplicate linked. And if you use a shape and then you apply effects, it loses that linked effect. So I'm just going to go with that, and then I'm going to resize. And I'm going to do that a couple of times. Now I've got a shortcut for that. I'm just going to go for Command 5 and then create another one. Command 5, another one. Command 5, another one. Just a few, 3 or 4 of them. You can maybe 20, 30, 40, whatever. And you can see them all over here. Just going to align them quickly. And then with them all aligned, just select one. Because that's the thing with linked layers. Just apply a blur effect, etc. And they will all be applied to all of the layers. So filters and then to blur and go for Gaussian blur. You get a nice blurring effect. You don't have to push it really massive. Just want it about 15, something like that. Then apply. And you can resize it, continue to do that if you wish. But what you can then do is you can go to filters and you can go to distort and deform. You've got master there, set to 100% and rigid. And I'm just going to add some pins all the way around, or handles, what do you want to call them? Around the edge. And the reason I'm doing that, I want to fix it. And unfortunately, there's no feature to fix the diamond in that shape. Now what I can do, I can go to the center and I can drag out. And as I do that, you can see what happens. You end up generating these, and it's obviously depending on the number here. So if you've got 20, you'll end up with lots and lots of these dots coming from that. And you can do that again. Just simply go to this central bit and you just generate these designs. Very quick and easy. And of course you could create all kinds of different designs. It could be an image in the center. It doesn't have to be a diamond design like that with that gradient fill. And you can see what happens. You generate this multiple designs like that. I'm going to repeat that a few times. So just create a number of them. So once you've done that, click apply. And again, you can still go and use other ones as well. Just go to filters and distort. And this time, instead of that one, I'm going to go with mirror. And now you can see what happens. It splits it. You can see that split. That's what mirror does. However, it says here, number of mirrors, 1. Well, I'm going to go for, say, 2 or 3. And straight away, you can see what happens. All kinds. And you can also modify the origin point. So you can just move it around. So you can decide, you know what, I want that sort of design. And I can still continue to mod. Now you can push it sometimes too far and it will just lose everything. So sometimes, you know, works at 3 or 4 is better than 10 or 15. But just experiment with that. And you can see the colour effects there. And you can also modify the input as well. So you can just change that around. And also the output. Now also what you can do, you can go over here to the layers and they're still all linked. You can still see all linked. What you can do, just change the blending mode. You can run through the blending mode, go for difference, say. Or maybe go for overlay. Or some work better than others. Multiply or lighten. And you can still move that around and still change it, and that panel's still there. You can still continue. I'm going to go with difference. So with difference now I can go this and click apply. Now I can still go back to deform as well. So I can go to filters and distort and deform. And I can add some handles or pins. And I can simply drag that around. You can see what happens then. The effect just cascades off. And again, you've got these multiple copies. It's a bit hard to actually make pins around. That would be a nice feature, a sort of freeze the the shape, so you could actually freeze it and then work just from the centre. It's not easy once you've created something like this to see where the shape is particularly. But you can see you can actually make nice ripples of colour like that. And again, depending on the number of copies you've got over here, you can create all kinds of different designs. And again, you can still continue to modify the blending mode if you don't want that one. Click apply. And you can also go to, and I don't know what's going to happen now, so let's just try it. Filters, repeat, deform. I love to just use repeat, deform. And you can create all kinds of other designs. And you can still continue to move that if you want. Change your mind with that position, maybe rotate it, scale it, etc. But then also what you can do, you can always go to other ones. Filter, and maybe use mirror again, or equation. But you can also use twirl. Maybe use twirl on that. And you can see what happens then. All of those things are all twirled. Every single one of these shapes are twirled. And you can modify, obviously, the angle. So that will change. See, if it's a very low angle, you can just create all kinds of ripples and designs all the way through that. And again, you can always go over here. You always say, you know what? Maybe overlay doesn't work. Some don't, they don't work so well. I mean, you can go for saturation, negation, whatever. Just try them out. Oh, that's a nice one. Okay, so go for that one. And you can see what happens as you rotate that design. And click apply. And you can still continue to modify these designs and move them around. And also, if you want, you can always go to filters and do distort and so on and so on. Deform. You can see the general thing. You just continue to modify it, play with the colours and designs, create all kinds of weird and wonderful combinations, all from ostensibly that diamond shape. That was it, the diamond shape, right back to the start, diamond shape and a gradient. And then you can create wonderful, colourful designs which you can continue to explore and warp and distort in all kinds of ways. And click apply and just repeat again. Just try it again. Hope you found this tutorial of interest. Always adding new tutorials all the time. A dislike or like, always appreciated. Thank you much.